If you're interested on how to properly test your internet speeds, this video is for you. Hi everybody, Harrison with THK.IT here. Wanted to go ahead and create this quick video on how to properly test your internet speeds. In our internet-driven world today, we tend to get upset when the video we're watching buffers or the game we're playing lags. We're quick to blame our ISP and say things like, they aren't providing the speeds I'm paying for. But a lot of other factors need to be taken into account when testing your connection. When it comes to internet speed tests, a lot of people don't do them right. For example, testing their connection over Wi-Fi or while other devices are working in the background, whether it may be streaming video or downloading updates. So today I'd like to share a few tips to ensure that you're performing your test properly. I'd also like to show you the impact improper testing can have on your speed test results. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to THK.IT.com/ISP tips. I'll bring you to this page. I have a link in the video description below that will take you right here to this page. And the first thing I have here is power cycle. And essentially what that means is to remove the power from the device that gives you the internet for a specific period of time and then to restore it. Usually it takes anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to power cycle a device, whether it be a modem or a PoE adapter, a router, an access point, whatever it may be. Go ahead and power cycle that device by removing the power and then plugging it back in. The next thing I have here is bypass. And what that means is that in order to get an accurate depiction of the speeds coming into your home, you need to bypass the device that is giving you internet access throughout the home. So if it's a Wi-Fi router or anything like that that you have connected, like my network here, I have a Wi-Fi router hooked up to my ISP's modem, and then it gives me internet access that way. So you'll have to essentially remove the cable from the router and plug it directly into your testing device, whether it be a PC or a laptop, something with an Ethernet connection so that you can test the speeds of your internet connection. So without any device online, that's the way you want to do it. In some cases, you actually have to call your ISP to tell them that you would like to bypass your router or you would like to hook up a different router in order for them to authorize that device to be on the network in the first place. So if you hook up a device and you're not getting internet access to that device, then you might want to call your ISP and tell them that you look to be doing some testing and that you would like to bypass. And a lot of times they'll even walk you through the testing and troubleshooting process just so that you can have an idea of what to expect and what needs to get done in order to test properly. And lastly on here I have do your homework. So what I mean by that is that you need to know a few things about your internet in order to properly troubleshoot and test it. So you need to know things like what your plan speeds are, or how much bandwidth is required for you to do 4K streaming or gaming or any of the things that you're trying to do over that connection. You need to know the bandwidth requirements. Also, too, you need to be aware of the device that you're connecting with and doing your testing with. So, a lot of computers have Ethernet jacks built into the machine. Some do not. Like your new MacBook Pros or some of the newer thinner devices, they don't have a Ethernet port built into them. So you'll have to buy a USB to Ethernet adapter. This device will actually allow you to take an Ethernet cable and plug it directly into the computer through this adapter and test your internet speeds that way. Also, too, this adapter has a speed profile of its own. So this adapter can only go at 100 megabits per second. So that's as fast as this thing can see speeds up to. Now, as for this device, this USB 3.0 Ethernet to USB adapter, can see 1000 megabits per second. So that's fully within my plan speeds. I have 300 megabits per second internet. If I was to test with this one, I would not be able to see my full plan speed. If I was to test with this one, I would be able to see my plan speed. So the device that you're testing with needs to have the proper connection speed in order for you to see the plans that you're paying for. If you have an internet connection speed of 25 by 5, this will work properly and just 100% fine. No problem. You'll be able to see every bit of your plan speeds through this device. Moving on. Additionally, whenever you're doing your speed test, you need to either A, clear your cookies and cache, or B, open in a private or incognito window. And you can do that in Chrome by clicking the three buttons here, these three little dots, and opening a new incognito window. So let's see. Once you've followed all these tips, you can go ahead and test your speed. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second, and we're going to get set up to do some speed tests. Alright, so we're back here. I've got a few things set up here on my other screen so we can go ahead and do some speed tests. Got the Ethernet pulled up right now. So first what I want to do is illustrate to you how improper testing can impact your scores. So let's go ahead and I'm going to disable the Ethernet connection. And that connects me to the network at 1 gigabit per second is what that Ethernet connection is. And I'm going to go ahead and connect to my wireless. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi on. And I'm going to look for Lone Star Wireless. Now this is going to be the 2.4 network. There it is. And I'm just going to connect there. And then when it actually establishes connection, yep. I'm going to go ahead and get the status window up here. So it looks like I can connect to the 2.4 network at 300 megabits per second. That's great. That's within my plan speeds. Should be able to get everything within my plan over the Wi-Fi in theory. So let's go ahead and go to our speed test site. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this in a new tab. Okay, and that's going to take us to speed test. So this is going to take us to a speed test I host on my website. And I'm going to change it to somewhere that's a little closer. Let's do Sprint Fort Worth. And we're going to click Go. Not looking too great, huh? I get 300 megabit down internet. And here this device is only getting 20 almost. That's brutal. And I'm getting about half of my upload speed here. So that is over the old 2.4 network. Now this network is really crowded with other devices that do broadcast on the same 2.4 gigahertz frequency. Other devices operate on the same frequency, such as your microwave. So we're going to go ahead and select the Lone Star 5GHZ, which stands for 5 gigahertz. So now this is a network that's meant for devices that are in the same room, not a very far throw away, not through many walls or any walls, because the wavelength has a hard time going through walls and penetrating obstacles. So 5 gigahertz, I am on that now. Let's double click on our Wi-Fi status, and we do have a connection at 866 megabits per second to the Wi-Fi router. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click test again. Now it's getting better. Okay, so 145 down and 31 up. Still not my plan speeds. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few connection changes here in the back. I'm going to take the Ethernet connection out of the router that gives this computer connection and plug it directly into the modem. So bear with me just a moment. Okay. Now I have to re-enable the Ethernet. I'm connected directly to my modem at 1 gigabit per second. Okay. Now, also too, remember I said we need to clear cookies and cache, things of that nature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an incognito window just like I instructed earlier and go to the same speed test site. Paste and go. Okay, Windstream in Dallas. All right, here we go. Okay, so this speed test basically says that I'm getting 191 down and 32.5 up. Let's go to a different speed test site because sometimes it's very important that you test from different sources. So we're going to go to speed.ui.com. Since I've been there before, take me right to it. And with this test, it instantly goes. It connects you to the best server, which this one happens to be the Ubiquity 2 server in Dallas. And as you can tell here, I'm getting 230 down, about. And it's doing the upload right now. So here you are, the delta between the two. So this one says 226 down, 31 up. And this one says 191 down, 32 up. So about on par with each other. There's a pretty big gap in between the two. But again, when you're dealing with internet, it happens to do a lot with what your provider says as well. And the biggest thing that they say is up to. So you may be getting up to 300. You might get 200. You might get 191. Up to 300 in my case is the marketing term. If testing and your internet speeds are within acceptable ranges and you're still having problems, this could indicate any number of network issues, such as an internal network issue, whether it be your router or a device hogging all the bandwidth, or your internet traffic exceeds the bandwidth limit set by your ISP's plan speeds. A lot of other factors go into networking and internet issues, which can lead to user frustration. Feel free to open a ticket at THK.IT.com so we can schedule a free network and Wi-Fi assessment. This is Harrison with THK.IT. Have a great day.